Hello, this is Mr. Swords of 6th grade physical science, and you guys are going to be doing a lab using Vernier temperature probes, and it is called the Boiling Solutions Lab. In this lab, you're going to need two beakers. You're going to need one of them to be your H2O, which is your water. You're going to put 100 milliliters of water in that, as well as in our corn syrup H2O mixture. You'll be using 3 teaspoons of corn syrup, and you'll be using a hot plate to heat the beakers. Here's some tools you'll need from Vernier that we have available that you will need for this lab. You need 2 temperature probes. You need 1 Lager Pro interface. You need a USB. And you also need 1 Mac. What you want to do is you want to first plug in the Lager Pro interface into an outlet. You want to make sure you do that. After that, you want to make sure that you plug in the 2 temperature probes into the Lager Pro. So the way that you do that is you have these 2 cords here. You want to make sure that they are faced in the correct way, which would have the coils pressing up, and then you use those to put those in channel 1 and channel 2. After that, please make sure that the USB is plugged into the Lager Pro by plugging it in here on the other side from where the channels were, and then you are going to use this to plug into the computer. Once you plug in the USB to the Lager Pro interface, you're simply going to take the USB and you're going to plug it into one of the USB inputs right here on your laptop. Okay, class, now that you've set up your Lager Pros, what you're going to do next is you're going to set up the software on your Mac so that you can record the temperature of the water and corn syrup as you are using the probe. So what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to go to the spotlight, upper right hand corner of the magnifying glass, type in Lager, L-O-G-G-E-R, and you should get Lager Pro 3 as your folder. If not, you'll get a tool that shows the Lager Pro logo. It should look like this. Click on it. It should say Lager Pro. It will open up the tools for that. And now, since you are already set up, what you're going to see is it should already have you it should already recognize you have the temperature probes in, so you should see temperature 1, temperature 2. You should see that it is in degrees Celsius, and the time is your x-axis, the temperature is your y. What we are going to do next is we're going to set this up so that we all have the same type of graph. So I'd like for you guys to go into the upper right hand center side. It says data collection. You'll click on that. And then we are going to change the time from seconds to minutes. And we're only going to make it 15 minutes. And then what I'd like for you to do in samples per minute, I'd like for you to click 5 samples per minute, so that every minute we're going to see 5 collections of temperatures on the left-hand table. That way we can kind of see as it gradually changes over here. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to title our temperature sensors. The red one is going to be our corn syrup mixture. The blue one is just going to be our regular H2O. So we're going to click on the temperature title and we are going to name it corn syrup solution. And corn syrup is just mainly sugar and water. Our next one, we're just going to call it H2O. For water, or just water. If it says it's shorter, say OK. Now you are ready to go. It's going to set you up so that it should say right here the temperature, what it currently is. Over here it's going to tell you what minute it is, the temperature of both probes, and then over here is going to be a graph that you should see. What you're going to do now is you're going to put the temperature sensors into these solutions in the water. You're going to put those beakers onto the hot plates and then make sure the hot plate is at its highest level so that we get the highest heat. And you press the play button. It says start collection. You'll press that. Gives you an initial temperature as you see here. And then every fifth of a minute, it's going to do a new recollection there, and it's going to show a new thing on the line graph. What I'd like for you to look at as you are recording, as you're recording this data, as you're looking at these temperature probes and the data that it collects, is you're going to be recording how the temperature changes between the two as the time increases, and also after everything starts boiling. I want you to take a look at the difference between corn syrup and the water. There is a difference that you will notice, and we're going to discuss that. If you are watching this for homework the night before the lab, what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to make sure that this is ready to go when you start in science class, so that if you need to look back at this instructional video to see where things go and how to set up your lab, you can look right back to it as a reference. If you're looking at this in class, you can rewind if you need to follow directions and follow step by step.